Hi everyone, Janey here. Welcome back to my garden. Today we are working in the back garden. There's a lot of random little things that I want to do back here, so I figured I would just get it all done just kind of in one day, well, as much as I can get done. And that includes taking out this Swiss chard. This Swiss chard has been here. It's ready to be taken out. Now I could leave it. It could grow pretty much all season long. It might get a little bitter as the weather heats up, but there's kind of no point. We've harvested from it. I planted way too much is honestly what happened. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to compost all of it in my composter. And then I will be replacing that with something really fun. I got the Bee's Choice Dahlia seeds from Floret, and I have been growing those. I've been starting those seeds, and they're ready to be transplanted out. I've been hardening them off, and so I'm going to be transplanting the dahlias right there. So that should be really, really fun, and it's front and center in my back garden, so we're going to be able to see it from my house. So I'm excited to get those to start, to kind of start going. So then in addition to that, so yesterday was the Candelario Ace Hardware event in Gridley, California, and it was so much fun. Unfortunately, it was raining the whole day, literally the whole day. It's absolutely crazy that it was so nice Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday it was like boom, rain, and then Sunday we're back to nice weather. It was just unfortunate, but we made the best of it. All of you that came, thank you so much. It was so fun meeting all of you and talking to all of you. Robbie and I had a great time, and Katie sold a ton of her Proven Winners plants, which was the goal, which is so exciting. She still has some left. They've definitely been picked over. She got like 200 bubble gums and they all sold like right away. I didn't even get any. But she does still have some fun stuff left. So if you live in the area, head to Candelario Ace Hardware in Gridley, California, and check out her selection of Proven Winners plants. At the end of the event, I grabbed a shopping cart and filled my shopping cart with plants because she just had picked really good stuff. And so I grabbed a couple things, including some annuals that I want to put in these pots right here behind me. These are my olive topiary pots, and right now they have cyclamen in them, and the cyclamen are suffering. And I think the problem is these cyclamen are getting too much sun. They're scorching. When I first planted these pots were up by my front door, and that's like full shade. So they were happier, and now that I've moved them back here where they get all day sun, like blasting hot sun, I think it's just too much for them. So I'm not going to get rid of these. I am going to take them out. And what I used to do at my last property, anytime I had bought cyclamen for like a basket or a pot or a window basket, I wouldn't throw them away, even though they're sold as annuals. I would take them and I would transplant them out into the garden. And now at that house, there's this beautiful show of cyclamen where I had planted all my cyclamen, and they're big and they're beautiful. They're blooming right now. I drove by the other day and it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. So that's what I'm going to do with these, is I'm just going to slowly start transplanting all my cyclamen whenever I get them in the fall/winter. And I think the best place where they're going to be the happiest here on this property is right over here underneath this olive tree, because cyclamen like kind of dry shade. And so I think that this is going to be a really good spot for it. At my last property, I used to plant them underneath my crepe myrtle tree in my front yard, and they were really happy there. So we'll see. I have to kind of feel out this property and see where things like to be, but that's my best guess. So let me get started with pulling the Swiss chard and planting up the Dahlia seedlings, and then I'll probably move the cyclamen as well, and then I'll come back and I'll show you all what annuals that I got from Katie's Candelario Ace Hardware to plant in those pots. Okay, I'm making some progress. Let me show you all what I've got done so far today. So first off, I got this no-till bed all cleaned out. I got the Swiss chard in my composting bin over there, or composting heap, I should say. And then I got the Bee's Choice Dahlias planted. I started these from seed. I got these seeds from the Floret sale, so they were not cheap. But I'm excited to see how they do. So I spaced them out about 12 inches, maybe a little bit bigger, wider, which is what she said, what she recommends. And then I made sure that I had a drip emitter to each one of them. You all know how I'm feeling about drip this year. It's just kind of something that's been weighing on my mind, and I'm trying to limit the amount of emitters that I have going, especially the ones that aren't going where they're necessary, like needed. So for instance, there's an inline emitter to this seedling right there, but then there's a random one right here that's going to nothing. So that's bothering me, but I think I'm going to be okay with it. I was able to cut some of the tubing off of the end compared to what I had it like before. So we'll kind of just see. Otherwise, I would have to do a separate emitter to each seedling, and that would take a lot of emitters. I don't know. I'm just going back and forth with how I want to handle irrigation this year. This bed is the bed that my mom planted with the cool flowers. Look at how beautiful they look. Don't they look gorgeous? So these are the apple blossom snapdragons. They look so beautiful. I don't know what that one is. It's obviously different. She had labeled them, but it got all messed up. So I'm not totally sure what that one is, but it's beautiful. It's very, very pretty. I have some calendula here, and then of course I have some Camelot Mix foxgloves, and then I do have some afternoon white cosmos hiding behind there. So what I did is I came in and I just snuck in a couple of the Dahlia seedlings so that those will hopefully grow, and then once those are nice and big, I can kind of cut these, transplant these back to over by my olive tree with the other ones, and then these I'll just take out. So this spacing is not going to be as pretty as that spacing, but I think I'm okay with that. Then I came back here and I took out all the cyclamen, the white cyclamen, out of these pots, and I transplanted them back here underneath this olive tree. And I was getting frustrated because I was digging with my auger and I would run into one of the squirrel tunnels. And I haven't seen squirrels back here. I think Monty has scared most of them away. I mean, compared to last year, there were squirrels everywhere, absolutely everywhere. There were bunnies everywhere. There were squirrels everywhere. It was crazy. So I filled them in as much as I could. Hopefully they don't come back. Of course they might. That's something I have to deal with. But we'll just see. But it was crazy. It was just like I was reaching my hand in and it just kept going. It was so frustrating. So I packed it with a bunch of the wood chips and then more soil, and then I finally planted these cyclamen. So they don't look like much right now, but I'm not too worried about it. These are the type of things that I kind of would just like leave and forget about. I'm not even going to hook them up to drip. I'll spray them with water every once in a while I'm thinking about it. But other than that, I'm just going to leave them here, and I think they'll be actually kind of happy. So I did a grouping of 3 right here. I did 5 over here, and then I did 3 more right there. And as I buy cyclamen for winter annuals, I will transplant them out here and just do groupings of different colors. And I think it's going to be really, really pretty in the long run once everything grows up around it. So now let me show you my haul of annuals that I got from Candelario Ace Hardware from Katie. So after the event was over and everybody was done and had picked up what they got, I went out and I started shopping, and I was so happy what I found because I'm really, really happy with this combination. I think it's going to be so pretty. So first off, we have Whirlwind Blue Scaevola. And if you haven't heard me talk about this plant, let me tell you, this plant is a sleeper plant. This plant is amazing. The hotter it gets, the brighter blue it gets, and it's like the happier the plant gets. It's really, really beautiful. I had it in my cottage garden last year at my last house, and just as the season went on, it got prettier and prettier and prettier. My mom actually had this plant on her property. She lives on a hill, and the hot wind comes up the hill and blasts like the edge of her property, and a lot of plants really, really suffer. Like she had some verbena, and that was just like dying. It couldn't handle it. But she had these planted there and in a pot there, and they did really well. So these I love. Then I have this Superbena Royale Plum Wine, because look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? And then to tie that in, I got the Supertunia Mini Vista Pink Star. Isn't that pretty? So I did have this. Was it this one or was it Lovey Dovey? I can't remember. It was one of them. But basically in the big white pots that I had my Superbena Pink Cashmere at my last property, I've moved those pots to up by my zigzag planter. I actually underplanted with these. And I feel bad because I didn't give these enough attention because I was so focused on how beautiful the pink cashmere was. But I'm going to pay more attention to these this year because they are really pretty. And I just thought that dark pink star kind of brought in the plum wine, and then it has the whirlwind blue scaevola. I just thought that combination was so beautiful. So I got 4 of each one. So I'll put 2 of each one in that one and 2 of each one in that one. And I think that will be really pretty. And I am planning, I think I've told you all this before, I am planning to plant a whole bunch of plants kind of all around the greenhouse over here. So as I get those plants, I'm waiting for them to be delivered. Hopefully they'll be delivered soon. But as they as they get delivered, I'll plant them up, and this greenhouse is just going to be filled with color, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited that these are the first annuals that are going in to around the greenhouse, and I'm really excited about it. So let me get these in. Actually, I forgot the slow release fertilizer. I'm gonna go grab that, and then I'll get these in. There it is. Annuals are planted. I really, really, really like this combination. I think it is a beautiful, beautiful combination, and I'm glad that I saw all these plants kind of close to each other because I just think they're so pretty. So the one thing I forgot to tell you all is I do have some very sad Dichondra Silver Falls in here. I put them in here and they've just kind of been suffering a little bit. So hopefully as it gets warmer, it will start growing. But just know that it's in there, and hopefully I can use that as a spiller in these pots because I think that they'll look really pretty. So I think that the olive topiaries are going to do fine because I do have these on drip, and the drip is going right to the annuals. So I'm hoping the annuals take up all the water because the topiaries don't need as much water. We'll see. If they start suffering, then obviously I will forego the annuals just to keep the topiaries happy, but it's worth a try because they look absolutely beautiful. The last thing that I wanted to do today, you might have seen them sitting right there in the greenhouse, is get my tomatoes in. I've been waiting because our temperature got kind of cold. It got down to 39 degrees, so I didn't want to plant these, but they're suffering because of me, because I keep forgetting to water them. So I have to get on a watering schedule, I just have to get on my regular schedule, and I'm just not quite on it yet. So I figure it will probably be better if these tomatoes actually get planted. I'm going to plant them up in the Vigo garden bed. So let's head over there. So I'm going to plant my tomatoes in this front bed right here. I think this front bed is going to get the most hot sun, so the tomatoes will be the happiest right there. And then just to remind you, this is my herb bed that I planted. Well, I do have some lettuce back there still, but I have thyme, I have chives, purple sage, parsley, some different basil, just a bunch of different stuff. So this is kind of my herb bed. I do have these pole beans right here that I planted that are doing fine. Let's say fine. They have some new growth on them. These are the Romano pole beans. So I planted them on each of the arch, so hopefully they'll grow up and over. And then in addition to those, I did direct sow some purple hyacinth beans. So one here, one here, one over there, and one over there, which I know I was trying to reserve these Vigo beds for my veggies, but I couldn't help myself. And technically you can eat purple hyacinth beans, so if you cook them right. So I'm not totally cheating, right? So anyway, so I'm going to take my tomatoes, I'm going to put them in here. I will be taking out this frisee. We tried some of it, but it was very bitter. And then you can blanch it to make it less bitter, but just wasn't really a fan. And I am going to leave my crimson flowered fava bean that I got from Fanula right there, because I do want it to go to seed. And I want to harvest the seeds, so I'll have more of those next year. So I'm just going to leave that. I might put the tomatoes kind of on either side of it and then bring them all the way up here. So should take me no time at all. Let me get to it. Oh, one more thing. If you guys do see these random little things right here, these are the blooms from my Chinese pistache tree up there. They've been falling all over. I did get the blower out and kind of clean it up a little bit, but if you see them in the beds, that's what they are. So they're kind of just all over. I think it's kind of pretty. I mean, in a way, you know? So first of all, I need new tomato cages badly. They got bent to within an inch of their life during the move, I think. So hopefully I have a chance to get to the garden center and get new ones before these tomatoes start growing too quickly. I'm kind of not worried, but I'm skeptical I'll be able to get there, because we're supposed to have a very warm week this upcoming week. So these tomatoes are going to start growing very fast, especially now that they're in soil like this. So all 4 of these I got from Fanula's Cottage Gardens of Petaluma. This one right here, this is called Orange Blossom. It is an early orange tomato. It's a determinate tomato. So determinate means it's going to fruit all at one time and it only gets to a certain height. Indeterminate, which these next 3 are, will just keep growing and growing and growing and producing until frost. And then there's a hybrid kind, which kind of gets half and half, basically. But basically, the orange blossom tomato is supposed to be delicious. Fanula told me that she does have some customers that specifically come in every year just to get the orange blossom tomato, because she's one of the few people that grow it around here. So if you can get your hands on them, get it, according to Fanula. I've never tasted it before, but I'm excited because I love orange tomatoes. Love them. This one right here is called Paul Robeson. It's a indeterminate, and it is very, very dark. And this one is apparently like a collector's tomato, like the people that purchase the real heirloom varieties that are hard to get your hands on. Apparently has this smoky flavor that I'm so excited to try. So we'll see how that one does. This one over here is a Sweet 100 cherry tomato. I mean, you can get these like anywhere, a big box store or whatever. I just grabbed this one because I know my girls will want to pick off the cherry tomatoes. They're very, very prolific. And then finally, this sad guy right here. This one's called Bloody Butcher. This one, I don't know if it's going to survive. We'll see. I didn't even put a tomato cage around it because I'm kind of skeptical that it'll survive. I planted it very deep. I actually planted all 4 of these very deep so that hopefully they can root out a lot and do really well. This one is known for super early tomatoes. Like basically in 8 weeks, you'll have these beautiful red tomatoes, juicy tomatoes that are ready to eat. So, I don't know. I'm not going to get my hopes up about Bloody Butcher, but there he is right there. Sweet 100 right there, and then the other 2, Orange Blossom and Paul Robeson, that is apparently named after an actor, an American actor, but I don't know Paul Robeson. So anyway, there's that. So very productive day. I got a lot of stuff going on. One last thing I want to show you, and then I'll let you guys go. I just saw this while I was planting over here, and I just have to show you. Look at my Darcey Bussell rose. Oh, she's so pretty. So this is my David Austin rose. She's called Darcey Bussell. I think she's named after a ballerina. I'll have to double check on that. But I just wanted to show you all this because I bought her, again, from Cottage Gardens. Yes, I go there all the time. She smells so good, by the way. But I bought her, and then I was looking up the stats on these roses, and I saw a bunch of pictures where this rose looked red. Like, I'll show you a picture right now. And it's not red. It's like this deep crimson, deep magenta pink. And I love this color. It's so saturated. It's so beautiful. And I want more colors like this in my garden that are this intense. It's beautiful. But I just wanted to show this to you all in case you were pushing off Darcey Bussell because she looked really red. She's not. She's a deep wine color. Beautiful, and I love it. Just had to show that off, and I am a mess. I have dirt everywhere. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.